Hi guys, welcome to the
Hello.
Almost Graduate Show. We have our host Yi,
Hi.
and we're very, very
I'm
excited to
back.
have our panels today, Divya and Adrian Leong.
Hi.
Hi
And we are
guys.
still waiting on Hanie. Hanie will be joining us in a few minutes. She's just having some issues logging in. So let's start off with maybe a short introduction from Divya as well as Adrian. We will not go too much into ourselves because I think you guys kind of know us by now. All right. So maybe we can have a little idea of who Divya and who Adrian. Who are you guys? What sums you up? Right. What's the essence of Divya and Adrian? Uh, Adrian, you want to go first?
I was about to say ladies first, but sure. So for me, just a very quick summary about myself. I'm originally from Malaysia. I'm actually from the land of Bak Kut Teh, so I'm actually from Klang. Um, I'm actually based in Singapore right now. I've been here for the past 4 years. All in all, I've been working for the past 8 years doing sales. So yeah, I think that's basically a quick summary about myself. Take it as a trailer, if you may. Yeah,
A trailer into who
Hey.
Adrian is all about. We will go
yeah,
further into that later, I'm
for
sure,
sure.
as we go on. So, Divya, you want to give us a bit of an introduction of who you are
Yeah,
and
sure.
stand.
So, hi guys, and very simple. I'm a young entrepreneur. I started very recently. I'm a final year student at a private university. And yeah, I think that's about me. I'm very passionate about what I do. So, I think we can pass it on to Miss Honey today.
So, we have the career doctor in the house.
Hey.
I
Hey,
made it! Oh
You
my
made it.
Hi.
God!
Hi.
2
We were
hours
just
on the
talking about the
road.
jam.
Cheryl, just for you, okay? I
wow.
braved 2 hours to get here just to be here. My God. So good to be here, guys. So what did I
Yeah, good
miss?
to
What
see
did I
you.
miss?
No, much.
Nothing
You're
yet.
just starting.
We are just at the beginning, and
Okay.
if pave the way for you to give us a little bit of the honey essence, right? Who is honey? What is she all about? The
Ah,
career
oh,
doctor.
the career doctor. Essence vanilla, of course. What do you guys want to know?
So,
Let's
so
give an
what does
introduction.
honey do?
Ah,
Who is honey?
okay.
What is
Okay.
honey all about? Besides
Right
the vanilla.
on. Well, besides attending my 25 cats, I I help my
She's not
clients.
joking. She's not joking, by
No,
the
I'm
way.
not joking.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
I help my clients to find fulfillment and happiness in their career journey. My husband and I, we founded Dragonfire Corporate Solutions about 8 years ago. For a lot of reason, it's a small management consulting firm. It's a boutique management consulting firm. We focus on career management and helping companies to let them, manage their talent to manage career. That's what we do. And yeah, the career doctor was given to me. That title was given to me by George, my husband, because he feels that I'm trying to fix people's career. So he said, you know what, is a career doctor. If you guys are familiar with the peanut gallery, Lucy with the, okay, the doctor is in, you pay 5 cents for some advice. No one knows. So that's me, guys.
That's awesome. So we are so excited to have you guys here today. We want to talk about perfect versus the right fit. When we talk about jobs, right, we all have this whole imagination of what the perfect job is. And people are also talking about the fact that we should have, the right fit when it comes to jobs. So is it job fit? Should we have the perfect fit or should we have a right fit? Which is which? Is it the same thing? I mean, I don't know. That's why I brought these guys here, right? To tell me and to like give us that insight. So myself, Cheryl, and of course we have Yi, and as usual, we want to start them off to give an idea of who and what they are, right? And what are their values, principles when it comes to talking about careers, right? So we're going to start off with a series of words. We'll give you 2 words that you have to choose. Just choose one. Don't tell us what it means to you yet. We will go through 4 or 5 different combination of words, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss what those words mean when it comes to careers. So are you guys ready?
Okay.
Yes.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
So obviously, if you're talking about perfect versus right fit, I gotta put those words in, right? So perfect or right,
None of the above.
you have to choose. Then you can explain
on.
however you want.
I'm always a rebellious girl. You know that, Cheryl.
Okay, Divya, it
Okay.
perfect or right?
Right.
I'll go with right.
Okay, cool. Want versus need.
One versus okay. For me, it was right fit. One versus need. One.
That's tough. I think need.
Okay.
Hey, I
Um,
think I'm at a different stage.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll go with one.
Okay, one. All right.
Yay!
Look at the next one. Give or take.
Give. Definitely give.
Give.
Yeah, same.
I think sometimes too, but hey, right now,
We all do it. Expectation or reality?
how's that?
Expectation or reality?
Reality.
I'll second that.
You're
Reality.
copying each other or what?
No.
No, it's
So lazy to think already. They're all basically just taking out people's
no,
answers.
no.
I
I've
think
heard an
we can
explanation.
relate to each other.
Okay, so Divya, you're going with reality as well.
Yes.
Surprising answer for a young person. Okay, let's go. I will ask you more questions later to catch you. Okay, goals versus purpose.
Purpose.
Sorry, what versus
Goals.
purpose?
Goals, like David Beckham goals. Maybe
yep,
David Beckham
yep.
a little old, but yeah, David Beckham versus purpose.
Definitely purpose.
Adrian,
Purpose.
Purpose for me. Purpose for me.
Divya.
Goals.
Okay, goals. And lastly, job versus career.
Hey, you said
Career.
5.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw one in.
Because they've been very naughty. They've been all answering the same answer. So we
Yeah.
have to throw no extra
But
in.
throw one
Adrian, it
in,
was
you
a
have to throw
test.
curveball in,
It was a test. See whether we can calculate or not.
Ah,
I got it. I caught
it's a
her.
trick.
Job versus career.
Definitely career for me.
Job for me.
I think job. Yeah. Job
Okay.
first.
So now comes the more interesting section of this.
Oh.
Why, right? So you guys, in the beginning, I think all of you said right fit, right? Can you tell me? Maybe we can start off with Divya, right? Divya, why did you say right fit?
Because maybe what I have in my head as perfect may not be suitable for me. So what is right for me is very important. What if I go to a job that I think is perfect? Like I can take a nap for 1 hour, I can go lunch at any time, I can go to work at any time, I can leave early as long as I'm done with my work. Maybe that's my perfect expectation. But is that right for me? Will that make me grow or will that just make me feel comfortable? So that's why right fit is more important than perfect.
Okay, interesting answer, definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, Adrian?
It's interesting. I have too many things in mind, but I just gotta stick to one, right?
You want
So-
that direct first? You want
Yeah,
that
oh my
direct
god, that'd be perfect. Like, yeah. I think the right fit trumps perfect is because for me there's no such thing as perfect, right? As cliche as it sounds. Like, especially when it comes to job, I think there's different stages of life where you realize that there are certain things that you feel that, oh, you know what, this is a perfect timing for me, but it's not the perfect for other people. But again, speaking for myself, right? Like for example, doing recruitment has been something right for me. But if it's perfect, no, it's not. But it's something that I'm happy about right now. So it's a bit vague and it's a bit abstract, but that is what I think about the right fit.
That's life, right? Abstract at times.
Mhm.
Yes.
What about you, Hanie? What's the
Huh.
right fit for the career doctor?
Well, I put it this way: perfection. This concept of perfection or anything perfect is the troublemaker in our life. Okay, when we expect perfection, whereas you know that nothing is perfect, even our face is not perfect. We do realize that half of our face is not balanced with the other one.
Yes.
So what is perfection? Isn't that right? So if
Yeah.
we are putting a stress on ourselves by searching for the elusive perfection, what does it tell us? It is going to be elusive all the time. Yeah. So why I say I'm not going to go with the right fit, but you made me choose, which is fine. I, I'll
If
be
it's you, what would you say?
align values.
Mm.
Align values. So it's similar to finding the right fit,
Right.
but you see, aligning values is what comes out from here. What is right? We have a spectrum, a whole spectrum of what it means by fit. So,
Right. Yeah.
for example, we buy shoes in the morning, it fits, and then we walk the whole afternoon. It's not quite fit, but it fits still. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's a
Mm.
big spectrum.
Mm.
However, if we have that values align, our life values align, our work values align, then wherever we're standing in this spectrum, we're okay.
Mm.
I hope that makes sense.
I want
Yeah.
to drop my mic, but it won't work anymore. I've already broken my shock mount. So I wanted to drop my mic, but I can't do that now. So
So
much for
fast,
the
you want to drop your mic.
Why is that
That was
for?
only the first thing.
Hanie's career doctor thing is getting to me. It's like poof, like that, But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. True.
what we usually do is we go to the word association and then we go to the questions. But I think I'm going to change it a little bit today because I'm very
Okay.
inspired by all of you.
Mm.
Talking about this whole perfect versus the right fit, right? Maybe
Yeah.
where you guys are all in or at today, right, has put you at that position where we're talking about aligning values and
Yeah.
we're talking about purpose. But what happened, especially for both of you, right, Hanie as well as Adrian, right, at the very beginning when you first started your careers, right? Did you have that image of what a perfect
Idealistic
job looks like?
ideals of what your career should be, ideals of what your job is supposed to be. Yeah.
And could you take us on that journey? Why
Yeah.
I'm asking you that is
Going back.
sometimes our viewers, right, especially we got a lot of young viewers, they come in with that understanding, right? They are probably there at that point, and
Yeah.
sometimes we have gone forward. They don't see where we've been. So I think it's very important for us to track back and see at the beginning, right, when we started our career, what was it like, right? And if you could picture it visually, right, how would you describe that perfect job in your mind at that time? And why it
That
changed?
you at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. And why it changed today to what you think? What was that trigger moment that changed it from that to aligning values or to say the right fit?
Good one. Good one.
Maybe we should ask Adrian first, because I think Hanie will take some time to track back to where she started. Maybe.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised because I'm about to go back to like 7 years old.
7
Wait,
years old.
look,
Hey,
the
you beat
reason
me to
why
it.
I like that.
no the
I
reason
love
why is because 7 years old at school we have sort of an activity where teacher actually asks you what's going to be your favorite occupation, right? What is
Yes.
the most cliche answers? I want to be a policeman. I want to be a firefighter. Oh, sorry, my family is not super
Oh, okay.
towards that direction.
I thought usually as a doctor or lawyer or engineer.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that one different. So yeah, it's always policeman or firefighter. So when I was 7, same answer. 8 years old, same answer. 9 years old, same answer. After that, eventually you just stop asking, right? And then fast forward to after uni, I legit thought I was gonna be a radio DJ. I'm not even kidding. Like we
Still
used to
can
have,
be.
I
we
still
used to
can.
have. No,
I
wait.
will listen
So
to you.
the
You have one already here.
so His.FM Cruiser, right? So I used to be like contemplating whether if I should apply for it. Maybe it'll be something that kickstarts my career and stuff. But obviously, life has a different plan for me, right? So after diploma in mass communication, I was waiting for result, and then eventually I moved into sales. I was selling gym membership. I'm literally the annoying person calling you, hey, you want to join the gym? Hey, you want to come by, check out the place, blah blah blah. The same old thing, right? And boom, 8 years later, I'm in sales. I've been doing sales for the past 8 years. Can you believe it? I'm like, so if you were to ask me, right, have I ever thought that I would have, like, if I actually want to be a salesperson? I don't think so. But if you were to ask me if I sort of have that idea, yes, because my dad was a sales manager. What does your
You
dad
have
do?
it
Sales
in your
manager.
genes.
No, what does your dad do?
It
Sales
runs in your
manager. That's what I
DNA.
know. No. So
It runs in the DNA, I think.
yeah, so right now for the last 3 years I've been doing recruitment. Again, it's just something interesting. And how I got into recruitment is a different story. Very, very interesting story. But I think I would like to pass the mic over to Hanie. Yeah.
Okay. If we have time, we'll ask you to share. Yeah.
Sure. It's a very, very interesting one.
Okay, so you beat me to it, Adrian, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll be what, 17?
Yeah, something like that. But I during school time, they make you fill up these forms. Remember, just like what you're saying. So
Yes,
I
yes.
remember writing down on these forms year in year out. Writing down this job called auctioneer and valuer. So
Wow.
one year, one of my teachers asked me, "What is this auctioneer and valuer?" I said, "I don't know. It looks good on Reader's Digest." And that's about it, because everyone was saying, I want to be teacher, pilot, this and that, policeman. And I thought, why do I want to be like everyone else? I want to be special. I mean, come on. Rebellious, remember? I was and still am. My teachers could vouch me for that. So I said I wanted to be an auctioneer and valuer. And what I didn't know was that it requires me to go through, law school. And I hated that. I hated the fact that I had to go, a law school.
For a rebellious person who's taking law, that will be a very interesting aspects as well.
I know, but life took over and things changed. So I decided to join hospitality. That was my first job. But the rebellious Hanie was saying after a year, I could have done a better job. So on my 18th birthday, I borrowed my mom's money and I set up a boutique.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, the rebellious me, 20,000 ringgit at this was like donkey years ago. So set up a shop in Teluk Cempedak. I did a lot of stuff. So all throughout the years, the life journey has been really, really enlightening. How's that? Yeah. So how did I end up with this career, doctor? To be honest with you, I have no idea. But however, having said that, I know that all throughout my life, the things that I've done, the role that I took has always been about people. It revolved around people, and I think one of the many defining moments was that I was downsized. I was retrenched many years ago, and it was such a traumatic experience. And I told myself that there will be a day when I could help, and I do want to do this. If I want to help, I will make sure that those who are being downsized will be helped, so that they do not have to go through what I went through. So that was one of the many life defining moments. And many years later, half a century later, here I am, the career doctor. How's that?
Wow.
Reader's Digest.
Yeah. I should have taken that idea, just flip through the Reader's Digest, get a really cool word and just put it inside there, right? Wow.
Yeah, condensed version.
I think, I mean, if I can add on, right, I think it echoes very well to the first thing that you mentioned, right, value. Because I think ultimately, whatever jobs that I'll be in, right, be it in the next 3 to 5 years or in the next 10 years, right, I would never know. But one thing I'm very, very certain is that I think I'll be very much of a person where I see myself as sort of a person where I can add value. Or to put it in another word, right, like customer service is sort of an industry, right? Like waiter is actually in customer service, being a receptionist is customer service.
Providing services, yes.
Correct. So I think that is the value that what I feel Hanie is holding. And I think it's very much aligned with mine as well, because it's the same. So sales is the same, right? We have this taboo where salespeople are the annoying one. I'm not going to deny we can be quite annoying.
Oh, yeah, I'm not denying it.
We can be quite annoying. But there is a cliche saying that, ultimately, if I know that I'm actually doing good for you, right, that is my value that I'm trying to satisfy, right? And if you can feel it genuinely, then perfect, right? Happy customer, happy me. But if not, then, we just got to move on with life, because there's one thing that I've learned is that I can never satisfy everyone in my life.
That's a good point. We're going to come to satisfaction later on, right? We're going to come
That's
to
a good
satisfaction. Old song is coming into my head. It was satisfaction. I know, Hanie, you know what I'm talking about. But let's steer it a little to Dhivya right now. So Dhivya, you are one of our panels here that has not started a full-time job. I understand you've done your internship before, and at this point of time, right? I mean, before, like now, I believe that you have an idea of what is considered, you want something which is a right fit, right? But I'm sure at one point of time in your life, maybe very recently even, right, you had that idea of that dream job, right? Can you tell us what it looked like, or that perfect job in your mind? What did it look like? Because I think it'll be very interesting for us to see someone in your generation, right? Because we have an idea of what we think is perfect back then. When I was growing up, my cousins, a perfect job would be your company gives you a car, gives you a house. That was then. But by the time I came to that point, there was no such thing. Car, house, are you kidding me? No such thing. So as generations change, what is given by the employer and what you consider perfect also changes, right? So please enlighten us.
So, okay, my dream job till now is that I want to become an editor at National Geographic magazine. So that's my dream. But if I get there, I just hope that, probably they will let me get to work after 9, and then I can go back once I'm done with work. I don't have to stay back after 6 and no WhatsApp messages after 6 p.m.
I hope National Geographic is listening to this. Maybe you'll find a potential employer looking for you from here.
Okay, then yes, I just hope that they don't see me as a bad kid. Okay, so that I can wear my ripped jeans to work, my t-shirt. Maybe I can wear my sneakers to work. That's my dream job. But I'm thankful to say that my internship was a very casual place, excellent experience. I loved it. But I very well know that maybe my future internship place, the place that I'm going to look for, might not be the same. I might need to have formal clothes on and, be at work after 6 and all that stuff. So, yeah. That's what I can say from my generation. We would like more, casual style, easy work. Boss don't bug you every time. Hopefully
Boss don't bug you.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get scolding in the meetings. yeah, those are the kind of things that I think my generation would want in the
I
Hey,
can
workforce.
and
visualize.
my generation too.
I don't want to get
Okay.
scolded by my boss as well.
I can already hear the little signs of perfections inside all her points, right? All the little ticks of perfection inside there, Very detailed indeed, very
Yes.
detailed.
So that brings us to the second words, right? Want
Want
versus
versus need.
need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think most of them says
Want.
I think
Want,
two of them says wants
and
and
then
one
we
of them
have need as well.
Want. Want.
Want.
I said
I don't know why
need.
popular songs are coming in my head now.
One.
Can I go
Yeah.
for
Go
this one?
ahead,
Yes.
Adrian.
Yeah. So for me, when I look at want and need, right, I don't know why, but I automatically define it as short term versus long term. The reason being is because one, it's something where I can sort of have a bit more of a control, I'd say. So I want to earn, let's say, double my salary next year. That is tangible, right? In a period of 1 year, I will do whatever I can, hit whatever numbers I need to, double up my salary. That is tangible. And what I need to do is I need to be successful or I need to be rich. But at the same time, being rich and being successful is a different definition on its own, right? And that is hence the biggest and the bigger goal. So that is why I kind of like break it down to like short term to long term. So I'm not sure if it makes sense, but that's how I define want and need. Yeah.
Words can have many different interpretations depending on your perspective in life
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how
definitely.
your exposure. And you're a communication background, so I'm not surprised.
More creative.
Honey, what was your answer? I think you said want, right?
One.
Definitely one. Yeah. So I'm on board with Adrian on this, short term versus long term aspiration, I would say. Yeah. For example, you guys know that I work a lot with the retrenched, those who are in need of a job like last week. So that's always a battle. Adrian, you're in recruitment. We meet these clients, yeah, on a daily basis. So we always have this kind of conversation. Sometimes they come to me by asking me, "Honey, I have this job offer. However, tak masuk jiwa. It doesn't call my name, or it's like, oh, 5 minutes away more from my previous job, blah 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 blah. So my first question is, when does the bread needs to be on the table? When does the bread needs to be on the table? If it needs to come like today, then you cannot have, oh, I want. We can't. You need to have that job like yesterday. However, if there is still time for this person to kind of explore, to weigh things about various offers, then perhaps I suppose the word should be one, because that is an aspiration. Need means like now, immediate, like yesterday. I need to look for a job. Yes, because you need to feed your family. I need a car because my workplace is something like gazillion miles away. Yes, you need a job. Not I want a job. I need a car and I want a BMW. See? So I need a car and I want a Merc. I need to eat, but I want steak. So that's my definition. Yeah, you need food, but you want
something.
I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Dhivya, you put need, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's your definition?
Like Hanie and Adrian said, I think I'm at the stage where I need something. I can't demand. Yeah. I need a job. I can't
That's
say
a good point, That's a really good point.
Yeah, I can go in there and say, I can say I need a job. I can say I want to be the editor. I can't say that yet. I need experiences. I need somebody to give me a job so that I can learn.
True.
I need knowledge before I can want something. So yeah, that's why.
I think that is an extremely good point, and it's very mature for someone at your age.
Yeah.
I think that understanding that. And I think mostly when we speak to the younger generation, I mean, myself and Yi are lecturers in a private university here in Malaysia, right? So when we speak to young people, we always hear the want. I want this, I want that. I went to this company, and we were just talking about it, myself and Yi, talking about internships. And when they
Yeah.
come back, even if they offered really good jobs, they don't take it
Yeah,
because
they
that's
don't.
not what they want.
They say,
And
oh, we would like to, confirm you to be a full-time. Oh, maybe this is not my right, again, my right fit, it's like, the perfect job of like, but I want to do this, but I want to do that, the kind of thing. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's very interesting what Hanie, Adrian, as well as Divya, when you're talking about want and need, right? Understanding the difference between both and being able to understand where you're at right now in order to,
Correct.
either say I want or I need, I think is very important. Even for me right now, even though I'm, have been working for like, I don't want to say then you know how old I am. I've been working
For a
for a while.
while,
Right?
yeah, for
I
a
think
while.
She doesn't sleep. I want to know, but she doesn't sleep.
I mean, if you know that Adrian is my student 10 years ago, it should give you a rough idea already, right?
Yeah, she started teaching when she was 18.
Why you
La,
want
la, 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 la.
to say it? Yeah,
So
I know.
when we talk about want, even though I'm at this part of my career, I still need a lot of things because I need to have a stable job because I need to feed my family. So I
Lots of
can't just decide to drop my job and say I want to work in this area or in that area, even if I want a change or things like that. So I understand that want and the need, I feel, is not something stagnant. And for job seekers out there, regardless of whether you're on the younger side or you're older, it really depends on where you're at. If
Yeah.
you have just been retrenched, I think a lot of
Yeah.
people have been retrenched during this COVID season.
Yep.
Yeah.
You won't be too fussy about the want because you need, right?
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
Wait, I have something to add, right? So for me, I like coming from a recruitment standpoint, right? And to the point of retrenchment, right? You'll be very surprised. So just a bit of background. So right now, what I cover mid-level to senior level tech space. So basically, I deal with engineering managers, um, business analysts, and stuff like that, right? So the funny thing is, if you deal with junior to mid-level, which I've dealt with before as well, yes, maybe they are less picky, but you'll be surprised how picky certain candidates would be as well, because they are very adamant about certain things that they look at. For example, salary. And in Singapore, even though it's a small country, one end to another, guys, 1 hour. I'm not even kidding, right? And location could be a problem for them. Okay. And I 100% respect them because look, that's what you value more, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to add that, yes, some people get retrenched, but sometimes they don't really feel very much of a urge where I need a job right now. It depends on family situation, for
Yes.
example.
That's
I
a
think
big
we
point.
had that conversation, remember, in one of our shows previously, where we get two of our HR recruitment gurus to talk about it as well.
Yes.
During retrenchment time, sometimes their expectation is, I've been retrenched, I want to look for a job, but their expectation is, I want to get a job that's the same, that offers the same benefits and same range of salary or position as per where I have been retrenched from. And for you to get to that position and that salary and all those benefits that you have gotten in the past with the one that's currently been offered to you, that kind of perception needs to change. Because the reason why being retrenched is probably because in that industry that you're working in, it could be no longer doing as well as it should be. So probably if you want to go back to the same industry and getting back the same job or same position and same salary, you might not get what you are expecting from. So they have to actually start to shift their perception about what is it that they are seeking for, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
there are a lot of angles to look at this, right? Like again, giving you an example, recently, so in Singapore, it is a problem hiring foreigners because there is quota problem, right? There needs to be a ratio where they need X amount of local talents before they hire external talents. So the challenging part here is that not all people are actually picky. They really genuinely they are willing to learn from a hard skill perspective, but at the same time, even though the company wants to help, they can't. So it's a bit of here and there, to be honest. There's no such thing as the right perfect balance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think one of our audience here, Kevin, is asking us similar questions to this. So I have some
So-
advice for Kevin here.
Hello, everyone. What do you think are the new
What do you think
challenges
are the-
facing job seekers in landing any jobs, let alone the dream job during this COVID pandemic?
Can I take
Go ahead.
a thought about Kevin's question
Yeah,
there?
sure.
So here's the thing. A lot of these job seekers, those who are coming back into the job market, they are in competition with the fresh grads at the same time. So we have close to 1 million now job seekers in the market in Malaysia alone, when there are only certain numbers of vacancies available, and this cuts across the spectrum of roles and levels and skill set and whatsoever. I think, in my opinion, one of the many challenges is the ability to pivot, to be adaptable to a new JD, for example. So coming back to what Adrian was saying, the perfection of that job, or that job description. I want this, I want this, I want that, but not realizing that, like I said, the break needs to come today. So the ability to pivot to the next role is very, very crucial. Not many people have that right mindset to be able to be adaptable, to be flexible,
Yeah.
and all that. So that's number one. But I'm going to talk on number two as well, which is skill set. Skill set nowadays, I mean, during the COVID-19, where all of us were in lockdown, so including myself. I've been using Zoom for my coaching sessions because I have clients everywhere, outside of Malaysia, in Malaysia, Penang, Johor, whatever. But soon I realized that in the first month, I had to learn more on how to be more effective. So it's a skill set
Yes.
thing. Can you imagine? I've been having problem in some of my clients who don't even know how to get things connected. I've got somebody who is way back in Pahang who said to me, Hanie, I don't know how to use Zoom, so I had to teach her how to do that. And she said, you know what? I have a laptop, I just don't know how to switch it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a reality. That's
Yeah.
a reality. Yeah. So skills and the adaptability are two main things. If we can, get off these two things way away from the table, I think we're halfway there. That's my 2 cents.
I think that is a very good point, right? But in answering Kevin, right, I would like to take a step back, right? If we look at getting into the company itself, I think what you're mentioning is very much of adaptability towards a certain job, for example, right? And it's from an employer standpoint and also employee standpoint. It's basically compromising each other's skill sets, leveraging on each other's skill sets, right?
Yep.
But if I were to take a step back, for me, one of the key challenges now is actually getting attention of the company. Why I'm saying this is because you think about it right now, given the COVID situation, right? A lot of companies are retrenching. That means there are a lot of job seekers outside there.
Correct.
To think about it, there are hundreds and thousands of people applying for the same role.
Yeah.
What would make you stand out? I think these are the challenges that people would need to think a bit more deeply into. So if you were to ask me, I would say, brush up on how you better present or represent yourself from a social media standpoint, be it on LinkedIn, be it in CV, be it in applying the job online. I can tell you for sure, right? I mean, if you apply through JobsDB, if you apply through any other job platform, right, your CV is just gonna drop to somewhere where I call the black hole, where it will never be seen anymore, right? So
I have a name for that. It's called the Bermuda Triangle of Lost Resume.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? So
That's the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah.
Black hole.
So for me, whenever I consult my candidates, I will say like, hey guys, you know what you need to do is actually brush up your LinkedIn profile. How you're gonna approach the recruiter of the company, what kind of effort you're gonna put in, how are you gonna find who is the recruiter of the company, how are you gonna approach them, depending on the role and also the JD, and then how are you gonna make it yourself stand out versus hundreds and thousands of applicants outside there. That is what's more important to me. And I think that is the challenge that people are facing.
That's a very, very good
That's a
point.
good one.
Maybe Adrian, you can add on to the second question that Kevin's asking you that which one is more important than skill sets or work experience? Because I think Hanie has already helped to answer that one that says that brushing up skill sets is actually pretty
Very
crucial right now.
important. Yeah.
Give me some time to digest a bit this question.
So while we're waiting for Adrian to answer, right? Talking about Kevin's question, right? He talked about challenges earlier, right? Do you think, Dhivya, these are the same challenges that you guys will face?
We face. Yeah.
Especially at the moment, right? With this whole COVID, a lot of you are graduating now, and you are graduating in a period of time which is like crazy in
Like
terms of
they say,
working.
unemployment rate is spiking, and you are coming out like fighting for jobs with these people, right? Who probably may have already
People,
some working experience. So, what are your thoughts? How are you going to get through this then?
To be brutally honest, I'm scared. Graduating in like what, a few months, maybe like next year I'll be graduating. Are companies ready to take me in? Are there spaces for me? Will I stand out? How else? How else can I stand out? Like, okay, now LinkedIn. I'm working on my LinkedIn profile now. I hide my Instagram so that my recruiters don't snoop into that. I try to keep my Facebook as private as possible so that I don't say stupid things there. So that, what if my recruiter goes there, okay, Dhivya Tharshini, oh, look, she posted that. That's bad. So she's out. So I'm scared of that. I'm really worried. And I can say that my generation people right now, we are facing the same hurdles. Yeah. So I think on my part, what I'm doing is just I keep working on my resume over and over again, trying to see how do I make myself stand out? And I just try to put in whatever I can, brushing up my skills, like Miss Hanie said, and and hope for the best.
What kind of skills are you currently looking into brushing right now?
So, as many of you guys know, that I do freelance content writing, and that's what I'm passionate about. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm trying to learn more into SEO content writing, UX content writing, all the things that I see on Job Street. Whatever they say, content writer, and in front there's something weird that I don't know. I have to learn. That's me. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to find somebody to teach me on how to do that and learn that skill set. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I think that's the beautiful part of where we are at currently. During the pandemic, you see a lot of experienced people coming out, giving webinars, giving workshops for free.
Free
Normally
training.
they charge like big money, and we like for today, right? We are so lucky to have people like Adrian and Hanie here. I know sometimes the amount Hanie charges, I mean, someone like me definitely can't afford. So I'm very blessed that she's willing to come here, and do us this service and here for all of you to answer your questions, especially, right? And Adrian as well, So I think it's a perfect time for you to ask the questions that you need to ask, because I mean, what better way to ask and also to get an idea of why we brought Dhivya in is to get an idea of what the people in the younger generation are thinking, right? Because you guys are a big part of this current workforce, right? You're coming in and your numbers are bigger than even the millennials. And what's going to happen and how is the workforce going to change? These are very important questions to actually ask. So we'll go to the next question.
Yeah, I think Dhivya add on a very interesting thing basically because she is saying that what she did is basically she researched on the job descriptions that is offered online and see what is their requirement, and then she brushed up those skills that she probably might need to brush up before she goes in and apply for it, which is smart because then you know that this is what is needed in the market right now. That she will be able to stand similarly on the same ground with probably who's having the experience. I think Adrian, you want to add back to the question you want to answer to Kevin?
Yeah. So Kevin, just if I were to choose between the two that you gave me, right, I think I would go with skill sets. I would just give you an example of my current space, right? So I'm in the tech space. So think about software engineering, right? Where you need to have a specific skill set. It's non-negotiable. I need you to have Python programming skill. I need you to have C++. I need you to have JavaScript, whatever it is. All this may sound alien to you, but it's just non-negotiable. Skill sets wise, they need to have it. But it also depends on what kind of role you're applying for. So skill sets, you can split it into two as well. There's soft skills, there's hard skill.
Yeah.
I always believe in hard skill that you are able, you can be teach, and you can actually learn hard skill,
Teachable.
but soft skill you can't learn. So I've covered commercial market before where soft skills and hard skill is equally as important. Soft skill in the sense where you have to manage a team of people, you need to manage up, you need to manage across, you need to manage down. And then at the same time, you need to have the skill sets of selling, negotiation, right? Closing deals and stuff like that. But if you were to ask me to give you an example of work experience, right? So when you have that skill set, sometimes the work experience doesn't matter. Why I say this is because so there are geniuses outside there where they code very, very well. They after graduate, they have a contract with Google, Facebook, or all this tier one company, right? And they are paid very, very well.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're geniuses or they are being poached in uni, right, is because they have that skill set itself. So if you were to ask me to weigh both of this, I think skill sets trumps work experience. But it's also very situational. It's very, very situational.
True.
Depends on your industry as well, right? And as you
Depends on
mentioned,
industry.
stage you're in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
So to add on a
one
bit,
to all.
to add on a bit, right? So I'm not asking those people that are listening right now to apply to a job that is not relevant to you, because that's basically digging. I mean, basically, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, right? Like, you can't justify the fact that why you actually apply for a job. If you don't have software engineering, why would you want to apply for a software engineering role, right?
Because it's there.
That is the problem. That is the problem. Don't
It's
do
so
that,
easy,
guys.
right?
Don't do that.
Apply.
So I'm telling you guys, right? Don't do that. Like, coming from a recruiter standpoint, right? We discuss about candidates like this in the market, right? We see this candidate X amount of times. I posted 10 jobs. This 10 application is actually coming from this same candidate. And we'll be like, hey, look, you know what? I know job market is tough, but it's just irrelevant and you're just desperate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please don't do that, guys. Just period.
I think there was a time that when I first started, right, I would send my resume everywhere and just press
You
the
have
button.
no idea where my CV has gone through, okay? I think
People call you,
every
you're
single company has my CV already. That's how desperate I was in the past as well, okay?
Yeah, as a freshie, right? I mean, that's how my mind thought. And so it's nice to hear from a recruiter's perspective, right? What they think. And I think, Adrian, I would like to ask you, we had this conversation as well previously, and you mentioned something about, LinkedIn has this easy apply thing. You wanna add further about how that works?
Easy apply. Easy
For
apply.
those
Yeah.
of you who are not on LinkedIn, when you go to the job section, there are some jobs where they have like an easy apply, and I love it. I have to admit,
Same, it seems a lot of trouble, but still, like what he says,
I've come a very
look
far
at it as
way
like, desperate people apply.
from applying.
Yeah.
Those
So
things, like I said, tembak and apply, right? Now I'm very careful what I apply, but I still like to apply for the easy apply. So can you tell us what's the bad thing about applying for easy apply?
So before I address that, right, let me
Yeah.
correct myself in telling you guys not to apply. I'm not asking you guys not to apply for jobs, but you apply for a job that you see relevance in it,
Yeah.
right? You see that you are able to learn. For example, sales. If they are looking for 1-2 years experience, and if you really think that you're super good at convincing someone, it's something that you are able to learn. You feel that your personality, with your personality, you are able to prove yourself in a way, apply for those kind of jobs. But technical roles, it's irrelevant, right? You don't apply to this kind of position. That's what I'm trying to say. So to your question of easy apply, so when Dhivya talk about, just Divya's word, yeah. So Gen Z, or maybe I'll just put it in Divya's word, saying that if I have casual timing, if I can just wear something casual, easy work, no scolding and stuff like that, right? So quote unquote easy work, right? So it's just easy, and that's what makes people apply for it, right? But at the end of the day, it all falls into the Bermuda Triangle of what was that again? I'm not going to use black hole.
Lost resumes.
The lost
Lost
resume,
resume.
exactly.
Lost resume
So-
file.
So I
Island
think,
called lost resume.
yeah, I think ultimately, right, you need to know why you're applying for the job. I think that's very, very crucial,
That's
because
a very
at the end of the day, when a recruiter or a HR actually calls you and you're like, oh, which role I apply for? I actually lost count because I applied for so many roles. It shows your interest of the company, right? You have no idea. There is a pause there. And as a HR person or as a recruiter, I'm like, oh my God, that is a red flag. Do I actually want to move forward with this person?
Yeah.
So I think once you have a clear intention, that's why I always tell my candidates when they apply for a job, try to write down all the companies that they actually apply for so that they're able to keep track, right? So don't abuse it, leverage on it, but don't abuse it.
Yeah, I
that-
can,
that-
I
message
can
them
agree
every
with
day.
Adrian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can add on my experience with that easy apply thing. So basically, when I was looking for my internship and during my diploma days, I got a few offers from Singapore, and then I got a few offers from Malaysia. So basically, I couldn't go to Singapore, so I had to look at the Malaysian companies, and I've already accepted one job. I went to the interview and I said, okay, I'll get back to you about that. And then one day I'm in the car, somebody calls me and they say, hi, is this Dhivya? And I was like, yeah. So we're calling from this company. I was like, okay. And because I don't know. I remember going to internships.com and say, apply. And then you say, so I'm from this company and I saw your resume. I like whatever work you did. Do you know what are we about? Dead silent. I was like, can I be honest with you? I honestly don't know who you are and I don't know.
Oh my
And
God.
thank God the boss of the company was one who called me and he said, I really like you. I really like your work. And just come and see me on Monday. We'll start work. I was like, okay. And thank God. So it was a very, very good lesson for me. I was very lucky, but it's a very good lesson to me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So the
Thanks
job
for proving
seekers
my
out
point.
there, it's very, very important, right? We have seen the expert talk about it, and also someone who's gone through it.
I encountered it.
And I think this is a mistake that a lot of job seekers, including myself, when I was younger, do. Right? We just apply because we feel we need a job, so we apply, but we don't really think through what kind of company are we applying to.
I
Do
think
we
it
really
kind
want
of
to work
reflects.
there?
I think it kind of reflects to what Adrian said, that we probably are a bit tad desperate. That's why we kind of apply.
I was desperate at that time. So yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
shows. It shows. Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
let's go to the next one, right? Because I think this relates to the questions that are coming now. Give or take, right? So earlier we're talking about give or take, and I think all of you said give, if I'm not mistaken, right? So can you guys maybe elaborate further on why you said give when it comes to your careers or jobs?
What is there to take if you don't give in the first place? You can't
Right.
take when you don't give anything. So definitely you have to give value. You have to add value to your employer. Give some sort of, I don't know, just share your experiences, give your work, give your time to them, and probably you can take good salary, probably a good ang pao during Raya. So that's your take. But you have to give something in the first place.
True.
Very
Can
good
I add
point.
on? Yeah,
Yes,
can I add on to that? So it's coming back to I before I speak about the give or take, I would like to address something that I think is crucial and very important at the same time. So we have all this technology that's working for us. It is so easy to click on the easy apply, right?
Yes.
The mouse, click. Click. It's so easy.
Yes.
Now, guys, my time, that was like donkey years ago. The minute you want to apply for a job, you actually need to buy the newspaper. Yeah, you need to cycle out, buy the newspaper every Saturday and Sunday. You open up all the advertisement and type.
Classified.
Right. So you need to be very, very careful in the job application. There is no such thing as click. You really have to figure it out so that when you have a bundle of application, you need to go out again and queue at the post office and buy stamps and stick it on and go and post it, and you have to wait for like months or weeks
For people to
So
reply.
that's right, if they ever bother to reply.
Ever, yeah.
Ever, that's the thing. So we got it so easy nowadays that we have forgotten a lot of things. We have forgotten the how troublesome it is to apply for the job that we want or we need, you know. So that's number one. Number two, it has also all this technology. I feel that it has removed us away from the art of networking.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't talk, we don't pick up the
Yeah.
phone call, we email, we message, but the art of connecting with each other, with other people, is lost. There's a disconnect. So one of the skills that I was that I wanted to also share is the skill, the network, the art of networking, the skill of networking. So one area that we were talking about is how to be, better than your next candidate, right? So the art of networking is one thing. The LinkedIn is so
Yeah.
busy, but like Divya is doing, fine tuning the LinkedIn and all that, because we want to be different. So when we want to be different, don't stop over there. Even for me, I would say hi to any stranger. You go into the lift, you say hi, they don't smile back, so fun.
That's why I can see the similarities between Cheryl and Honey. I can see that. Yeah. I literally
and
walk up and meet people and say hi. Yeah.
Yeah. So the art of networking, we need to bring it back. The art of saying hello to everyone else, even by writing out when we want to connect. Hi, good afternoon, Mrs. So and so. Just yesterday I got connected to one somebody in LinkedIn, and the profile picture was like, I don't know whether it was a girl or a guy. I don't know. It was like profile, side profile, black and white. And I asked this person, I said, is there a particular reason why you didn't put your real profile? And this person said, yeah, that's my picture. Do you honestly think that I'm going to take this conversation further? I deleted it. I've got like a zillion, people who really needs the help. I don't have time for all of this.
Mm.
You see, and I'm just sharing what I go through on a daily basis. So the art of networking is something that we need to bring back,
Agree.
because it does matter.
Mm,
It does matter. Hmm.
mm, yeah.
I
True.
think the
True.
clicking thing is very correct. I think it's become so easy that we
Mm.
don't think. And LinkedIn invitations, I've got like 31 now, and I'm so tired to go through them one by one because no one sends a note. Or and even, I mean, sometimes I know when you're using mobile, you can't really send a message or
Mm.
understand you add people. But even when you
Yep.
message them back, chances are 80% of them never respond back, but they want to be your friend. I'm like, why do you want to be my friend on LinkedIn if you don't even have the decency to reply? I mean, it's like going up to someone and saying, uh, hi, I want to be your friend, and then you keep their number and you never ever call them again.
Cheryl, I take pride in responding every single message that comes into my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Every single message.
Key
It
tips,
will
guys.
take me
Key
like
tips.
days. Yeah, but I do take
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I do take time. So everyone gets a response. Again, depending long, short response, but they'll get a
Yeah.
response. They do get
Mm,
response. Yeah.
mm,
So, in case you guys were not paying attention, that is a key tip for LinkedIn, right? There's a key tip for LinkedIn networking. So don't just add people for the sake of it. And Ashwina has
Yeah.
asked us a question, right? What are the kind of perfect and right attitude you think one needs before starting their career? I think a lot of it has already been discussed today, right? So Hani has
mm.
already mentioned it. Divya, even Adrian has discussed these questions. But
Yeah.
if you guys have anything else you guys want to add,
At
and I
all.
believe Ashwina is coming from as a final year student.
Can I say something? And I think this is
Oh,
important, especially for a person who's working with a lot of fresh grads as well. Please drop the "I know everything" attitude.
Oh, I wish I could record this and play it to all my students in the classes, man.
that kind of relates to our next question, guys.
Yes, yes. I think we, as a fresh graduate, as soon to be a fresh grad myself, I think I shouldn't go up to my employer and say, okay, look, I know this, 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 this. I don't. I say, okay, so I know this, but I want to learn this. I hope you can help me teach. I hope you can help me to teach me and guide me through this. So I
I'll
think
hire
that's
you.
the very most important.
Yeah.
I'll
Yes,
hire you.
yes, please.
Yeah, it's the attitude. I think it's definitely the attitude. I don't do this, because come on, just
I
a
think
point.
the word here is really, you shouldn't have the mentality that you're entitled, because in the job market is very, very brutal. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. I don't care
Mm.
who your father, your mother is. It doesn't matter, because if you go in thinking that you know everything, you already kind of like, you're just putting red flags all over yourself,
Mm.
right? I
Yeah.
think the as cliche as it sounds, right, the want to learn attitude has to be there, because
Yeah.
going as fresh grad, you have to humble down yourself in a sense where, because look at it yourself, right? Yes, you have a degree, right? You have a certificate, but going into a job market, that's I'm not sure if I'm being very honest saying this, but you're actually nothing. You are learning from scratch, right?
Yeah.
So you need to humble down. You need to be able to unlearn and relearn and adapt to the culture, whatever the company has, and then
Yeah.
from there, you will kind of like find your way through. So
Yeah.
to answer that question, I don't think there is a perfect fit. In fact, there isn't a right fit at all, because it's very subjective to the employer as well.
That's a
Some
very good.
employer wants you being aggressive. Some employer wants you to be a bit more, timid. All you need to do is in
Obedient.
our yeah in our term we call it the doer profile. All you need to be able
Yeah.
to do is do. You don't ask
Mm.
question, you just do.
Yes, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just go in with a want to learn, and yeah, like what Honey mentioned, don't don't take it from
Drop it.
too much of what you see and what you hear in the through your friends or family as well. You
Yes.
have to
Especially
you
when
have
they
to
like to compare. It's like, oh, my friend, she got this job, only work, 4 days a week, and then they got this salary, and then they can leave work at 4 and just come in to work at 10. Wow, so nice, wow. And then you see my job, I have to stay back, or the part where they have to stay back, that's the most, the no the no part for them. It's like, huh? I
mm,
thought your CV here says, your JD here says it's until 6. Why do I have to stay until 7? Then you are complaining and nagging. Why I have to
yeah,
stay until 7? The kind of thing. Oh, I,
yeah,
I, I find it appalling. It was the
Yeah.
time we work, we're like, oh, we have a job, because they're paying me. Of course, I have to be dedicated to what I need to do to complete my job. There's no thought about like, well, I should stay back or I should not stay back, and I only paid this little, compared to the rest. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
it's kind
even
of
for me, yeah. Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Adrian.
sorry, just very quick, right? It's kind of sad to say this as well. Like, as much as we say there are a lot of competitors outside there, right? But it's also very easy to stand out, because once you have the right attitude, people can actually feel it, whether if you're
Yeah,
coachable or not. And that's
correct.
all I gotta say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Soft skills trump the hard
Soft
skills
skills.
part.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Agree.
yeah,
Agree.
yeah.
Totally agree about the soft skills part. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be one of the key things. I mean, even for being self-employed, right? Like me, yeah. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, so nice. Oh, self-employed, you get to find your own time. You don't have many bosses. There's
Yeah.
there's no boss." That is so not true. I have gazillion bosses. You know who they are? My clients.
Yeah,
These
your
are my
customers, your clients,
bosses.
your employees. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's rightly so. When we get paid, it doesn't come to us straight away. We have to look at other expenses first. Other people get paid first, but of course, people will only see Honey goes to Langkawi, for example. Honey eats here, Honey gets there. What they fail to realize is that, do you know how damn hard I work for that? Like 3 days no sleeping, whatever. So it's the same thing. It's like the only difference is that my bonus comes as many as I want it to be.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, so that's the
Mm.
only
And
difference.
you can achieve. Yeah.
And this goes back to us talking about expectation versus reality, right? And this leads
Yes.
to what we expect and what is the reality of the situation. Sometimes you have an idea of what it means, and usually when you're a fresh graduate or you're still studying, you have an idea. When I was studying, I thought PR, right? was my whole idea of the perfect job is wearing a power suit and going to work. That was my entire idea. I'm going to wear this power suit, a bit this businesswoman, walk with a briefcase. That's all I knew about the working world, nothing else, right? But that's not the reality, right? And I think a lot of you guys talked about reality, right? You need to have that. You need to be grounded. And Hashim is asking us a question here, right? He says, for freshers, can the working world be considered as another learning level?
It is. It's constantly learning, I feel.
I think even till now, all of us are still learning, right?
Yes,
I always feel that I'm still learning.
definitely yes.
So there's this specific sentence that kind of I think would answer this question very well. So it says that your job, right, or rather your dream job, it's not really a destination. In fact, it's constantly evolving, right?
Yes.
Because like when after fresh grad you come out, you do your job. It's just like myself, right? I come out, I was selling gym membership. I didn't know I was gonna do sales, right? But eventually from there I did have some progressive move, and then eventually I'm like, oh my god, you know what? I'm probably gonna be in sales, right? And what kind of sales? So again, that's another progression. And then from there I moved to Singapore. Oh, you know what? This is a different kind of sales. And eventually you come to recruitment, again, it's a different kind of sales. So it's constantly evolving, and I can't tell what's gonna happen in the future, but it is definitely gonna be a learning level, especially for freshers, for fresh grads. Yeah.
So I hope that
Anything else?
answers your question, Hashim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I think we will continuously evolve and learn until we lay at our
Yeah, agree.
I think
That's
a whole
true.
life is about learning, right? Every single
Right.
process, whether you're talking about work or whether you're talking about life journey,
Life.
right? Like when, as you grow up and then you start living on your own. I mean, everything is a journey of learning something new. If you want to start your own business, for example, you want to do something part time, you want to be freelancer. You then have to start working with your time management, and you can't say, "Oh, I've got assignment to do. Sorry, I can't do it." If your client says you want something, you can't say, sorry, I got scheduled holiday. I cannot.
Then they'll
It's
ask,
fair, right?
you
So
become freelancer.
Yes, gig economy. That's what it is
Yeah.
now. Gig economy. It's just perfect.
So we
Not
have a
bad.
very interesting question coming up. Says about social media, right? So do you think it's a good idea to use Facebook as your personal and then professional account together, or best keep it separate?
I think
big
this is
no.
quite I think this is quite of a obvious answer to it.
No, so I think the reason why she asks is because if I get it correctly, right, I think social media has been too important to Gen Y, Gen Zs. I'm speaking on my behalf as well because I'm constantly on
Yeah.
my phone, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. That's how you stay connected, right? Echoing what Hanie is saying as well. Is we are as if we are connecting with people, but we are actually not really connected.
Very surface level.
Very deep, but it's very, very obvious as well. For me, it's a huge no. For professional is professional, personal is personal. If I were to see even in LinkedIn profile a very personal photo, not very professional, it's like, oh, you know what? It's just not the right platform to do that, right? I'm sure you guys have heard about things where people trying to hit on girls or anything on LinkedIn. It's just not the right place to do that. It's not the right place to slide into DM.
Not the
It's
right
what to do.
platform, basically.
It's not the right platform. So
Have you been proposed a marriage before on LinkedIn?
oh my god, no.
God, no.
I did.
That's
On
extreme.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god. Actually,
Interesting.
wait. I have a very interesting. So there's this person messaged me. He mentioned you got my email from there. I was like, oh, really want to know you. Blah, blah. I'm like, oh my god, this is probably spam mail. Moving on. But no. So Ashvina, right? I think it's not a great idea. Like Instagram, Facebook, it's a very personal thing. You don't want to show it too much to the professional world because I'm sure you know, right? Work is work, personal is personal. Sometimes you don't want to tangle up too much.
Perhaps I could actually add on to the question to this to see how you guys view this then, because I've heard before as well, like, sometimes when I've heard before they say that, the client, sorry, the employer, before they want to hire you, they want to see your profile first before they want to know who this person is. And you cannot control where they're going to find you, in what platform. You will expect them to find you in LinkedIn because this is the platform that you gave them to. However, they have the rights to actually go into your Facebook, search for your name, go to your Instagram, search for your name. So it's very
Especially
hard to
with public.
control the employer where they actually want to find your profile, correct? So how do they go about it then? Does that mean that they
Google.
really have to clearance? Google.
They ask Mr. Google, it'll give you like gazillion pages of you. And one
Yeah.
of the things that I usually teach my clients is that
Kill
take
yourself.
out the phone and search for yourself. So
Your
if
name,
you find
yeah.
any pictures wherever that your
Yeah.
profile reside, I will ask, do you like what you see?
Mm. Okay. Should they actually start clearing up their Facebook account then? Like, do
Well, the problem with social media is that it's going to be
Always
there for
turns
like a zillion years. It's going to be there. You delete, there'll be some cache
should be there, correct?
somewhere.
Yes.
So that
Just
is
don't post what you're not proud of. That is
yeah,
the first rule, I think.
yeah.
Don't share private messages that you don't want to be seen, because nothing is private online. I mean, that's what we learned, right? Nothing is
So-
private.
Yeah,
That's
so
to build your personal brand.
it's not a great idea. So I have friends posting bad stuff about the boss or anything like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just not professional. It's just not
Yeah.
something that you should do. Like, you are representing the company's brand, right? It says a lot about your company's brand as well. And if a company were to find out, yeah, they will probably fire you. That's least of a worry, but they can actually sue you as well, because all these are defamation. So yeah, it could actually come and bite your backside later on.
Yep.
So don't do that, guys.
Yeah, I think you should just be careful with what you post on any medium that is social, and this
Whatever goes
applies
into
to
digital, stays
real
there.
life as well, right? Whatever you do or say comes back to you, and I believe in this concept of energy science. What you put out is what's going to come back. It will like hit you back like a mirror, right? What you put out is going to come back to you. So it's very important to watch what you do, and don't think, oh, I'm a fresh graduate, I'm young now, I can post whatever I want. But it doesn't work that way, because like Hanie said, it stays forever even if you delete it. I mean, there are some cringe-worthy posts that I post on Facebook. I used to post. I wouldn't say it's like defaming to my job and things like that. But of course, like 15 years ago, the kind of stuff I post. I mean, I'll give you an example, right? I'll post things like, "Oh my God, I'm so bored." I mean, like, what kind of post is that? But I used to post stuff like that 10, 15
Yeah.
years ago, and when I look back at my profile today, of course, I mean, unless you have a stalker version, they're not gonna dig back up to the first time you posted. They're not gonna do that, right? So it's, I
But you
mean,
never
I'm
know.
about to share something very scary. So there's actually
my
software.
God.
There's actually
Yeah, yeah.
softwares for companies to do that. So they literally just type your name or whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever name relevant will be out. Even sometimes when your profile is private, you never know. All the pictures will come out, all the postings, all your past, whatever it is, it will be out. So it's very, very scary.
And
Yeah.
privacy,
I delete my
privacy
Facebook
in
now.
countries like Malaysia, Singapore is very limited. We don't
Mm.
have laws or regulations that take care of that aspect of it as well, for us to like go against it and things like that. So I think it's just being safe by saying, just be careful what you post. Every single time you post, you need to be aware. So you do not put yourself in a position where one day it's going to come back and hit you. And
Yeah.
and this applies to being outside as well, right? People can take videos of you doing weird stuff, and even though it has nothing to do with your work, it can still affect you, right?
Yeah.
I think before we move on, let me very quickly just add on. So I urge you guys to actually check out this show on Netflix. So it's called The Social Dilemma. Check it out. It will actually scare you a bit. Like, in fact, they urge you to delete off your social media, and you would understand why, because it's just that scary. So yeah, check it out, guys, and then you guys can discuss among each other after that.
Maybe you guys can share with us what is the software that they use to track your name down, so that I also want to understand about it. Yeah.
Offline.
Offline.
That's fine.
Chelsea,
Okay,
next
next.
thing. Okay, moving on to the next, right? Goal versus purpose, right? And I think that relates largely to what we're going to talk about when we're talking about the fit, right? We can't run away from talking about job fit, whether it's right fit, life fit. Okay, we can't run away from that. So can you all discuss further when we talk about goals and purpose, right? So maybe we start with Dhivya first. Dhivya, you said goals, right? And two of them said purpose. So can you tell me why you said goals
Yes,
and what is your
because
understanding of it?
yeah, because I'm just starting out. I need to have some sort of goal. I need to reach a certain point. I want to, okay, let's just say, okay, in 5 years, my goal is to be very good at content writing, to be good at campaign planning. Then I can probably find my purpose, saying that, okay, so Divya's purpose is to help brands come up with good messages, to help brands reach out to people. So that's my purpose. But before that, I need to have goals before I reach my purpose. I think that's my take on that. I'm not sure if it's right, but that's my take.
We haven't come to that chapter in our class yet.
Yes, we should soon, right?
I think there's no right or wrong, Divya.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this,
Go
this,
ahead,
this topic there's no right or wrong.
So yeah, I think that's from my side. Maybe Adrian can add on to it.
So for me, goals and purpose, right? Goal is actually something, again, tangible. For me, it's quite similar to what, okay, not one in it, but so goals is something that I want to,
Achieve.
like, for example, if I want to make 10,000, or if I want to have 20,000 savings by end of this year, I want to buy a house by end of the 2021. That is my goal.
So
But
that's
purpose,
achievable.
yeah. So purpose is something more generic, where it's a reason that drives you towards that. Like, why would you want to have a house by 2021, right? Why would you want to have 20,000 in your bank account by end of the year? So that is the purpose. So when it comes to jobs context, right? For me, the purpose for me right now is, as cliche, as noble as it sounds, I'm trying to help people outside there, right? I'm trying to help them secure a job that they actually like or love, or whatever words you want to put it on. And that is my purpose. It's sort of like a value as well. For me, it's kind of correlate to value. That is my definition. That is why I choose purpose.
Okay. Interesting. What about you, Miss Honey?
Right on. Okay, so when we start talking about career aspiration, yeah, when we talk about career aspiration, there will always be goals and what do you call that? Goals and purpose. Just like what Adrian was saying, goals is something tangible. So the goal is to get a job, but because the purpose might be something else, that is your motivation, might be a little bit different. For example, for me, even for me, um, uh, purpose is of a higher level, yeah, rather than anything. Why do you want to do this? For example, because I need a job. But then once you get a job, then you're still not feeling happy, because you still haven't fulfilled the purpose that you're seeking for in your life. Yeah, I think it's very, very important to also find, to start finding what is the bigger purpose in life. It's just like having a negotiation about a salary. A lot of people say that, okay, I want a 10,000 ringgit. The goal is to get a 10,000 ringgit per month. Yeah, but then after you get that 10,000 ringgit, what then? It doesn't serve a purpose. It doesn't serve a purpose. So the purpose needs to be articulated along with the goal. Otherwise, it's going to be just there. It's just like a checkbox. Okay, I hit it, I hit it, I hit it, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't speak here. It doesn't speak to here. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, purpose is like the why. Why?
Basically, purpose is basically more connected towards your emotional self fulfillment. It's more connected to the feelings part of it, and goals are actually more towards your visual or your mindset of setting it
Yes.
towards a right?
Yes, absolutely. Why do people want to be, say, policemen?
Mm.
Okay, so any one of you wanted to be policemen, right? So they will say something like, "Oh, I want to make sure that the justice is
So
served." For example, is that a goal? That's not a goal. That's purpose.
this
Yeah.
purpose,
So the
right?
goal is that I need to
Oh,
secure
catch
a
all the
job.
criminals in the street. You clear up all the
That's
criminals in
right.
the street. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
So why do I want to be a doctor? Because I want to save life. That's not goal. That's purpose.
Yeah,
purpose.
that's
Correct.
important. It's like driving a car, right? If you're
Yeah.
driving and you don't know where you want to go or why you want to go there, you just kind of drive aimlessly, like she said,
Yes.
like checkbox. You just check, like,
Check box.
okay, wow, this is nice. Let's stop. Wow, bright
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
That's why you don't get fulfillment, and that's why you don't get
That's
happiness,
right.
or that's
Mm.
why you
That's
never
right.
feel. So I think with everything that you do, especially at this age when y'all are very young, it's always good to ask yourself, with everything you want to do, you want to be a content writer, why? You want to be a good campaign writer, why? Because I want to get people. Or if you want to be a good writer, why? Because I want people to see how words can come to
Yes.
life, and I
Yes.
want their eyes to, like, like go like, wow, I
Yeah.
didn't know that, I can get that feeling, or I can get that energy out of it. I didn't know a book can come to life. I didn't know that journey. So it's actually a lot of self discovery. Finding out your purpose definitely is not easy, especially if you're very
Yeah.
young. I mean, even some people at 40, 50 have not found out their purpose. But because
Yes.
we don't, we do a lot of research, like looking for a job, for example. Nowadays, we do a lot of research, right? Like you said, oh, I need to find out this job needs what, SEO, so I'm going to find out these skills. But do we put as much emphasis on us? What do
Yeah.
we want? Like,
Yeah. What do
in
we
the
want?
job, what do we want at the core of who you are, right? What do you want? And if we took more effort, like the same way you're doing to create your resume, or to add those skills, imagine if you research yourself as much, if you research the skills you need to fulfill that purpose, which is your goals, right? The smart goals that you create. Even if you just have goals, it doesn't get you anywhere unless
Yeah.
you have smart goals. It's measurable, so it I think it's a lot of reflection that we need to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Adrian said earlier, right? It's not a destination at the end of the day. It's a journey. And
Mm.
sometimes your purpose even changes as you grow older, right? When you start, maybe this is my purpose, I want to do this. As I get older, my purpose becomes maybe more, as you achieve, the Maslow hierarchy of theory, and you think about that, right? As you achieve different things in life, like you have the safety, the belonging, you fulfill all your needs, then you start having those ones, right? Like, oh, I'm enlightened now. I've already got this. A house is not something that appeals to me anymore. A car, I have a car. I mean, I don't need another car, right? I want to do something more. Why do you think the billionaires of the world are now wanting to, I want to help do this, I want to help do that? Because
Yeah.
they don't find fulfillment in doing those things that we like, oh my God, they have this, they have that. It changes. And I think end of the day, right, when we talk about going towards the job fit, right, talking about job fit, which is often the job fit, I think Adrian can help us out with this area as well as Hanie, right? When we talk about job fit, it's always how a candidate should measure up to the company and to the role, right? How does this now fit with our life fit?
It needs to be aligned. It needs to be aligned. And I think this is where, before Adrian's, I know Adrian has a lot of things to say about this one based from your experience, but I feel that a lot of job seekers, or those who are back in the job market, what one thing they need to do is to love themselves a little bit more. Okay, by first identifying what are my core values, what do I believe in, what is my personal values, my work values, so that when I go in and try to level up with what the organization's values are. The goal is not perfection. The goal is never a perfection. The goal is to have that fit. It goes, it's fluid because company change, company policies change, we change
Yeah.
over life, over some whatever life experiences, we change at the same time. So very important to have that, fluidity of integrating, what the company's values versus ours. Very important. I
Mm.
hope that makes sense. Mm.
for me, right, like when it comes to speaking to candidate, I always ask this question in every call, every single call, whenever I have a chat with them, I ask them, what are you looking for? Right? So they can tell me, oh, I'm looking for a title, I'm looking for a management role, I'm looking for a higher salary. It can be anything, right? So those are the things that they are looking for. So in terms of connecting the right fit for them in the next role that I'm gonna put them into, it has to be aligned with what they share with me as well. It's exactly what Hanie said, right? So I think you need to very much focus on what you can control on. Right? There are a lot of things you cannot control, which is the company culture, for example. I mean, unless you join a startup, like for myself right now, I'm with a startup company where I'm part of. I'll like to think that I'm a part of a pioneering team of the team, the company building up the culture and stuff. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that I may need to compromise as well. Again, that is very much aligned to my value, because I would like to join something new. I would like to join something that I can actually build something together with. So I think you would somehow know, actually, I don't know how, but you somehow know whether a company will be a right fit for you. It's just very much based on the conversation that you have with the hiring manager, for example, right? The feeling that the hiring manager actually gives you regarding the role. Can you actually feel connected with it in a way? So it's very interesting, because in recruitment, right, in my job, it's basically matchmaking. It is matchmaking, right? I see myself as Match.com, Tinder, whatever you call it. I'm
You
not.
better be careful when you say that.
I know.
We have to come and approach you.
Adrian is
I
the
got it.
Tinder version of
No.
That's
So
when you get LinkedIn people who type you message, hello, how are you? I would like to know.
no. Let me justify why I say this, right? Let's say right now, clients, which is the guy, candidate, which is the other partner, thinking that they are looking for it, and I'm sort of like the middle person, right? And then talk about it. What do you want? What do I need? And then somehow you need to compromise, because there's no such thing as a perfect fit. I can vouch for it, because you can literally Google what is the perfect job right there, outside there. I don't think there is an article saying that this is a perfect job. You need to get into this.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really what you value. So it depends what you want. So it's what I would suggest the people here listening to this is that you actually write down all this, because when you write it down, right, it's easier for you to relate to. So you write down this question: what do you actually value? It could be title, it could be money, it could be passion, it could be work-life balance, it could be anything, right? And then from there, you kind of separate them. What is the need? What is the want? What is a good to have? What is a must-have? So from there, you will somehow have a good idea of what you actually want. And then when you speak to people, these are the value that you actually have. And these are the questions that you can ask. Oh, how is the company culture like if you're into work-life balance, or if you're into passion? Oh, what does the role actually entails? Does this role require me to manage a team if you're into management and stuff like that? So you kind of like tailor make every questions as you go, and it's just a different phase of life. So I'm not sure if I'm answering the question, but this is how I look at it. There's no such thing as a perfect fit, guys.
Now I have to drop my mic again.
Last question from the audience. What about for a fresh grad? Choose a job that you love and passionate with, or choose a job that you can earn more? This is a very, very fresh grad question.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I have Dhivya to answer this first.
Money.
I have Dhivya to answer this first. She's so much related to it as well.
Okay, I'll just share my experience. So during my internship and during my freelance work, there were friends of mine whose internship company was paying them 1,000 ringgit per month. And that's with the makan they go out and the games that they go out. in my place, I was being paid about 700, which was great. For me, it was great, but I spent 400 on traveling.
Mm.
So money or love for, and passion for the work, I would definitely say love and passion for the work. I woke up every day and I loved going to work. I loved it. I loved every moment I was there at work. I enjoyed myself. I was laughing the whole day with my teammates. I
Mm.
loved my job. Some of my friends that were getting paid 1,000, they come back and say, "Oh, work is stressful." I'm like, "Work is fun. I love my place. I love where I work." So I don't want to wake up every day and hate going to work. I'll definitely want to wake up every day and just excited to go to work. So yeah, that's my take on it. Definitely love and passion for your job.
Mm. Mm. Anything to add, Honey?
Honey,
Yeah,
honey, I can see something brewing.
Trying to say.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so for fresh grads and not so fresh grads. For fresh grads, the first question I'm going to ask is if I were to ask you to remove the support from your parents, okay, from your PTPTN, you are there alone standing. What will it be? Because that's the reality. We need to look at the aspiration versus the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of young ones that I've met, they're not so, they don't feel it simply because that 10 ringgit that they don't mind spending at expensive coffee, they don't earn it. They have never sweat it to get that 10 ringgit. That's the reason why.
I have to agree with you. I was supported by my parents throughout my internship. So
Yes, yes.
I had the choice to choose love and passion. So yeah.
Yeah. So some folks are very lucky because they have the love and the passion, and of course, it comes with the pay that sustain them. But not many of us are that lucky.
I have
You
that
know,
choice.
right? Yeah, we don't have that much option. But those of you who have that opportunity, then share what works for you. But those who doesn't, then please lah, don't lah go spend 10 ringgit at your expensive coffee, and yet complaining that,
Get a
oh, I don't have a job.
McDonald's coffee. Cheaper.
Yeah,
Ringgit
that's an
tariff for
excellent
mama
point.
should do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sipping your expensive latte, 15 ringgit, and all the, oh, reflection coffee. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Drink water, drink water.
Drink water. Hey, Evian. Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm about to drop a very, I mean, it's
Drop
quite
another
brutal.
mic.
It's quite brutal out there. Let's just put it this way. So right now, I take it as passion versus money, right?
Yeah.
Passion, it depends on what passion you have into, right? Like if your passion is into saving lives, for example, then yes, you could be a doctor, right? You could be a surgeon. My passion, I love basketball. I eat, sleep, breathe basketball. But can I actually monetize through that? Like if I think about it realistically, being in an Asian country, it's not a great country to develop your sports in and stuff like that. Can I be at an NBA level where I get millions of dollars every year? Is almost impossible, right? It's almost impossible. Keyword is almost, yeah, it's not impossible. So sometimes passion fits you, sometimes it doesn't. So for me, right, I think you kind of need to know. And what Honey say is very, very true, because it's the brutal fact out there, right? If you to take all those money away, all those support from you, right? And with all due respect, I for what Dhivya shared, right? I'm sorry to say, but 1,000 ringgit is nothing, right? For you,
Yes.
it's a lot right now. But it's the same for me. When I used to earn 35, sorry, how much was it? When I used to earn 90 ringgit per day from doing promoting job, hey, would you like to try and stuff like that? I thought it was a lot of money for me.
Because
But-
you have other money.
Yeah.
To support your electricity, your
I take
water, and
offense.
stuff like that, right?
I take offense. No, it's not. It's just that during that economy, it's like, oh, it's good enough to support you. But
Yeah.
buying that cup of 15, 20 ringgit Starbucks, I'm sorry, I just can't do it, because there's literally my sweat
Yes.
and tears there. right?
Exactly.
So it's is very different. So if you take that away, right,
Value
you
of a
would
ringgit changes.
Yes.
it's
I guess
is
this will I guess this will be something that usually a person when they start earning for their own living, and
They
then with their own hard-earned money, and then they start spending it, they'll realize that the way the pattern of their expenditure will be so different from when you are not an earner for your whatever you earn and then spending
Yes.
it. That's the
Yes.
difference. I think that's where the Gen Zs are feeling it. Have yet to feel it, yet to, but soon to feel
Will
it.
be, will be.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
it's
I
just
think
like, yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
sorry, just very quickly, right? I mean, I just want to answer what Karen asked. Is it Karen? Is her name Karen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Karen, yeah. I mean, in my personal opinion, right, you kind of have to know what you actually love and passionate about, number one. And if you can actually monetize from it, I mean, as realistic as it sounds, it is what it is right now. You need money. Money makes the world go round, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I bet the song comes into your mind again this year. So, yeah, um, for me, my advice to you is identify a job that you would see yourself like to do, or or you can imagine yourself doing. Let me just put it in a simple sentence. So if you can see yourself doing that, do it. Some people, they cannot do sales. They know for the fact they cannot do sales. Then don't dive in with your head in doing sales lah. I mean, basically you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So if you see yourself very good in, for example, social media, you could look into digital marketing, right? If you see yourself being able to speak to people and stuff like that, be a consultant, or be a salesperson, right? So I think what you need to do is keep an open mind. You can never find the perfect fit. I'm sorry to say this again and again, but there's no such thing as a perfect fit. There is no way that you can find a passion that fits you right now, because eventually you need to start from scratch, and you would definitely have to go through hardship. And I'm not saying that it's wrong getting support from family. That will be a bonus. But what I'm saying is not everyone is that fortunate.
Yes.
That is what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we are already hitting 1 hour 32 minutes. So let's wrap up. I told you guys that you'll just go
I
and
just
wrap.
go just so
Let's
fast,
wrap up with
right?
the last thing I want to leave the audience with, right? What is your advice for those out there, right? How can we find the balance now? Because we still want to kind of pursue our passions, or we still want to have some form of that job we envision, right? And we still at the same time want to be realistic about what's happening. How can any advice you guys can give on finding that balance? Last words, guys.
Can I say something?
Hanie, say it first.
Yeah, I usually have this conversation with my clients and friends. Yeah, never attach ourselves to the title that we have, to the job that we have, to the car, to all of this worldly thing. Because today you're a CEO, tomorrow you are an ex-CEO. Today you're working, tomorrow you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Our life doesn't revolve 24/7, 365 and a quarter around our job at the same time. We have other elements in our life. So sometimes we need to work because we need to work. The bread needs to come today. So if there are other things that will make us happier outside of our work, please go ahead, do that. If you want to create, a better impact in some other people's life, go volunteer. On Monday, come back and do your work. Life does not revolve around all of this office or job. It revolves in a lot of things. So
Right point.
that's my last words.
Mm.
That's
Get
an
alive.
Yeah.
Get alive.
And alive.
job is not your life. Remember that,
Yes.
guy.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, get alive.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Adrian?
I'm just gonna summarize it with 2 points, right? I think you need to be open. Number one, that's very, very crucial, and you need to be creative as well. So be open, as in be open to advice, be open to learn, be open to unlearn, be open to relearn, whatever it is. It goes on, right? And be creative in that sense where what I told you guys right now, what is important is for you to actually get attention, right? You literally need to shout out right now, hey, look at me. This is what I am, right? It's also a brutal fact that a lot of people are judged by the CV. Okay, there are a lot of things that people judge based on what they see and what they don't see in CV, right? But when they speak to you, it's a different person. So you need to kind of like brush up your CV, looks good, and I would suggest you to keep it as simple as possible, because for recruiters, they don't spend a lot of time looking at CVs. I probably will spend 30 seconds, 1 minute max looking for keywords that I'm searching for. That is what it is, right? Some people, if you look at it, they actually spend just 6 seconds, but it's not recommended because I don't think it don't do any justice to the effort that the person put in. So be creative, shout out loud, if you can prove yourself that you're good, then yeah, and be engaged with LinkedIn, reach out to people more creatively with a purpose. Personalize your message. You don't say, hey, hi, blah blah blah, please check out my profile and stuff like that. Copy paste to 100 other employers. It doesn't work that way.
With wrong names.
Yes, if you were to do that, please remember to change the name. If you were to do that, so,
Company name's wrong. Oh god.
Yeah.
Position wrong. Oh god.
Please be sure to do that. So yeah, that's my personal advice, guys. All the very best.
Divya, any last words for your lovely younger generation?
Yes.
From all the wisdom you got today.
Yeah.
Don't eat, sleep, and live with a job. Second thing is open up your mind, learn, and stop complaining so much. Your mom or your dad or your lecturer isn't going to come and mollycoddle you.
Yay.
No, your boss is going to call you. Your boss is going to text you. Deal with
Thank
it.
you.
You can't send emails. Stop, and just be willing to learn.
I'm containing my excitement right now because I feel like if all my candidates think this way, I'm like, oh my god, I'll be making so much money.
So
Like-
guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Almost Graduate Show, Perfect versus the Right Fit. Till we see you the next time. Our next show, the Me series, is next Wednesday. We're going to talking about social media and brands. So tune in, and we will be sharing on our social media, which we will leave the links in the description later on. So take care.
Our
Thank you.
YouTube channel, and the Facebook
Yes.
as well. Yeah.
All right.
Thank-
Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. That was great.
Bye.